Hi there. We're here again today to talk about Excel spreadsheets. Let me first introduce myself in case you don't know who I am. My name is Jackie Murray. I've been teaching K through 8 technology for 15 years, and I've been teaching early childhood education through grade 16 through college for about 35 years. So I have a lot of experience with it. I teach Excel starting in about first grade, pre-Excel through 8th grade, actually through high school, but I haven't taught high school. So I should have said early childhood through 8th grade, leap forward to college. So I skipped high school entirely. Besides teaching, I teach online as well as in traditional classrooms. I coach and mentor teachers and administrators who are looking to integrate technology into their curriculum and into their standards. I help schools align technology with the standards that they're using for their school in all their different subjects. I have a resource blog called Ask a Tech Teacher. I'd be thrilled if you dropped by and said hi. Got a lot of stuff on there that you'll enjoy using. I am the author of dozens of books on integrating technology into subjects, all sorts of subjects. Um, I also am the editor of a curriculum for K through 8 teaching technology, so students have the skills they need to use these tools I'm talking about integrating. So it's all in there. Dozens of books, and I invite you to look at what I have and see if there's anything there that works well for you. And you can find me on Twitter also at Ask a Tech Teacher. Okay, so spreadsheets. We're going to talk about spreadsheets today, especially Excel. Why learn spreadsheets? What's different about that? When I'm teaching some software, one of the productivity software or whatever it is, I'll often ask students, which tool would you use for this? What's good for this? Or why are we using Word here? Why are we not using one of these other tools that you know how to use, like PowerPoint, Publisher, Excel? We have a conversation about that because I want them to understand what uniquely makes a project good for one approach, but not another approach. So Excel is one of those. Why use Excel? Why use spreadsheets? There are some real good ideas that come right out of Common Core. Make sense of problems and persevere in solving them. And that's what you do with charts and graphs. You take a whole bunch of data and you make sense of it in a chart or a graph. You reason abstractly and quantitatively. And you take numbers and you sort through them. You figure out, what do these mean? What if I rearrange? What if I sort them a different way? You construct viable arguments and critique the reasoning of others with the formulas that you put into Excel. You can make a viable argument, just like the formulas you use in algebra or calculus. It's exactly the same idea, but Excel, you put them in there and Excel kind of does the heavy lifting for you. Use appropriate tools strategically, and that gets back to, why are we using a spreadsheet? Why didn't I say draw a picture of that? What would be the difference? Attend to precision. When you're using numbers and data, you tend to think of precision, of you want it exact. Point, how many decimal places do you want this decided out to? So you tend to think of that. So if there's something that requires precision, you might think spreadsheet, especially if it has numbers. Look for and make use of structure. Formulas, charts, graphs, those all are structure. Okay, so those are the things that you're going to think about when you're thinking about using, do I want to use a spreadsheet? Well, if it's those types of things, if you're working in the math standards in Common Core and it's those types of questions you're trying to answer, you might really think that, okay, I think I'll try this in a spreadsheet first. And that might work really well. Let's see if I left anything out. So I think that's good. So I started in first grade. And what I want to do today is take you through the types of projects I do at those early ages, and all the way through 8th grade. By 8th grade, we're doing budgets and that sort of thing, and rather than real simple things. But we start out with easy stuff in first and second grade. I don't mean easy. I mean with things that would just introduce them to the layout of a spreadsheet. So first and second grade, I'm starting with, this is a cool one. This is a secret picture. So I have the students, here's where you want to go, red, go to C13, here's C, and 13 is too far down, but let's say, pretend that's 13. Color it red, so they learn how to find rows and columns and then the bucket. And I have them color these as they see them. So it's a secret picture. When they're done, they find this. They get this picture. I have a whole variety of those that I use because they work for different times. If I get to it at a different time of the year, I probably don't want to do butterflies in the middle of winter. So I have a lot of those. Now this, you can see these are shaped like squares. This is not a first or second grade skill to get them shaped like squares, but I'm going to show you. If you go click here, and I'm going to pull this over, and I'm going to pull, and that is 68 pixels. And if I pull this up till it's 68 pixels, then I have a square. So now they're squares. I really don't want that though, because it messed up my directions. Okay, so I do that. I also do, for if this comes around Christmas, we do it as gingerbread house. And here's this little guy, and he has his directions. Oh, not on this sheet though. But same idea. I have directions I pass out. And let's see if I've got them somewhere in here. So I do have them somewhere. I'm just not quite sure where. Okay, so that's a great one for Christmas. And this one, we have text, so they'll actually put their name down here. This is clip art, so they'll actually go into insert and clip art and find the gingerbread boy and put it in. So this is very fine. I do it actually first, second, and third grade. I do it in groups. First has trouble with it. They don't all get it done. Second grade mostly gets it done. Third grade, it's just way too easy. I almost don't do it anymore. So that's this one. And that kind of covers first and second grade. I've got, so let's see. So I'm going to secret pictures. Oh, there is one more. This one's really cool. This is a very fun one. You draw this picture, and instead of the directions we had on the other one, you just put the color letter there, yellow. Those are yellow. These are all yellow, but look at that. There's a couple B's in there for blue, R for red, and you have the student fill the block in with the color like that. And when they're done, it'll look like, where's my picture? Is this one? No, that one's not pictured. I don't have it when it's done. I don't think I need to show it to you though. So, and that's a very fun one. That's a very fun one, doing it that way. That's probably better for first grade because it's right there. Where second grade, it has no trouble following those directions and filling them in. They're still learning the same basic skills there. Okay, so then I think I finished, let's see, did I finish my second grade? Yeah, third grade. Third grade, we get a little more serious about what we're doing. So third grade, I'm going to do a time card. We're doing a water conservation table. We're doing auto math, which they absolutely love. And we're going to add some shapes. So let's see what I've got here. I have, here's what my auto math looks like. I'll just drag this over. So we put this in here, and they fill in numbers, and I usually get the numbers from their classroom teacher. So they're doing authentic math. Division, sometimes third graders don't get to division, sometimes they do, so I'll leave that up to you. But I'll put the directions here on the side, but a lot of third graders can't, they certainly can read them, but they have trouble following them and doing at the same time. So I don't mind in third grade working through with them. I see I have this third through fifth grade. Fourth and fifth grade, no, they have to read the directions and follow because they've done this before. They did this in third grade. So here I just want them, they put a formula down here that adds up the 2 rows. Let's see if I can show you that. Automath. So this formula, see there, it adds up the rows, and then they put that in there. And I do let them, I always have parents helping in the classes, and they think it's so exciting. Can I just show them how to copy paste? Well, that's all right. But, and that's a good skill to learn, but I also need them to learn to put this formula in each of these, not just copy paste it because it won't be there the next time they need to paste it. So I need them to remember that. And then I need them to learn that that plus works for addition, subtraction, it's a minus, multiplication, it's an asterisk, division, it's a slash. So that's as hard as it gets. Then they get to personalize it, make it pretty, different fonts, colors, those types of things. And then if they have, for those kids who finish really early, let them put some pictures on. So I have that one for them. I have a water conservation tally sheet. This I do when they're studying water. We usually get to it about January. They do this over Christmas. They track how much water they use. On this sheet, they take it home and stick it on the refrigerator. It doesn't even look like it's a spreadsheet, but when they come back to school, I show them it's a spreadsheet. And then they just enter their data in each of these cells. And I have here where it automatically adds up and divides and does its work for them. So I have the directions down here, so when they take it home and stick it on the refrigerator, they have that there. So we do that to tie in with their classroom discussion there. And they also have this time card. If they're not doing water conservation, this really accomplishes the same thing. Just to track their activities, and then have over here where it adds them up. And I show them these formulas, but that's fairly sophisticated for third graders. I need to close a few of these. A lot of them open. Okay, cancel. Okay, so, oh, we'll close that one. Okay, so fourth grade, we're going to do a timeline. And once they learn to do a timeline in Excel, that's a skill they can use through middle school because they're always making timelines. There's other ways to make timelines. I've noticed that a lot of times students stick with the Excel one because it's intuitive to them. So let's see. I'm looking for a fourth grade, and here's their timeline. So let me see if I've got something. Here's a good example. So this is their timeline. Pretty simple. We put the timeline there, the years there, we put the events up here, and we put pictures down here. This gives you a lot of flexibility for who can accomplish what. If you don't want to have, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, you can just have 5. They don't have to be different colors. They don't have to be 5 pictures. It gives you a lot of flexibility to scale it up or down for the needs of your class. But it's a very nice looking. And then they also get a chance to learn how to print this. So they go to File, Print. It's got to print the right way, or it just won't look right. I think I already had this one set up. But you'll show them how to make this print the right way, and that's a very useful skill for them. And let's see, we had, fourth grade had graphs and charts are really cool. They actually start these in second grade. And let's see where I've got some graphs and charts. That one is a nice chart. This is kind of a second grade level. I know it's under fourth grade, but if you have your second graders do this, where it's just simple colors, a topic, and a legend, then by fourth grade they can get much fancier. And I'll see if I can find a fancier one. Here's your data. So this is what you want to show them, that they have simple topics. You do this data right in the class. You poll the class and write it on your smart screen so everyone has access to it. You can do these where they learn how to total it and find the average. Fourth grade is fine with that. And then you show them how you're going to turn the data into a chart by highlighting. So that one's good. And I think I might have a prettier one. Oh, well, we'll not worry about that. Shapes, though, are really good. So let's see if I can get shapes. So I'll do this when they're studying shapes, especially with the names. Good fourth grade topic. The lower grades, they might get to these, and you can use this there also. Then have them go find these shapes and label them. And I have the directions here. By fourth grade, I'm just going to give them the directions and the sheet, and they're going to go from there. But if you do this in second grade or third grade, second grade, third grade maybe, you might want to do a couple samples with them. But they come out very nice. The shapes are very attractive, and of course they can fill it any way they want. So you can have them pick their choice, and they'll like that. Okay, so that's fourth grade. We do an invention convention in fourth grade. So we did a chart to go along with that invention convention. And we just tracked their invention and costs of it and different things. These topics may not fit what you're talking about, so that's all right. You'll want to put topics here that fit whatever your invention, cost of building, cost of sales, time, that sort of thing, whatever data you want to collect in there. And they will really enjoy doing that. The kids actually came up with this one. They wanted to track that. So we did. The second year, we did. Fifth grade, we do arrays. We play Battleship, and we do survey data. We do a lot of stuff. So where's my arrays? So here's arrays. They fill in the arrays. I give them the directions here, and I expect them to just fill it out. The teacher will give them the problems. Now, because you're doing it on a spreadsheet, it's a little, if the problems are too big, it doesn't work very well. But what you want them to do is get the idea of how it's laid out. So it's another alternative for figuring out answers. Sometimes this is exactly the way students think. So you want to make this available to them. So they'll do this, and it probably takes a whole class, because by fifth grade, they definitely know their Excel skills. So that's not an issue at all. It's laying the array out and thinking that through and understanding how arrays in math work. So we do those arrays. We do, let's see, we do a nice chart, and by fifth grade they're doing all of this on their own. They're collecting the data, they're putting a background here, they're changing the background, they're changing the color of their bars, they're doing all of that, and it takes them no time at all. So, and by fifth grade also I give them a quiz, so they are done. And then when they go into sixth grade, I assume they know how to use Excel. Okay, middle school, they are working on a checkbook and a grade book. And I have this as a project, so I'm just going to show it to you here. Their checkbook. So they have to lay out these columns. This is for their grade book. They have to lay out the columns. They have to lay out the classes. Then they have to put the formulas in there. Let's see if I have, I think I do. They have to put the formulas in there. I don't think I do. This isn't it. This one's more complicated than I wanted it to be. So we'll just stick with this. So they'll put the formulas in there, and by now they understand how to make formulas. They understand how it's exactly like they do in algebra. So they create a formula that represents a number, and they're making their grade book. I grade them on their progress here. That they kept it up to date, and they were able to put the formulas in, and they worked. Also, by middle school, I give them where to go to get help. I don't want to be the one that's a repository of all answers. So I have the students, I give them access to videos that will help them understand, or Excel help files, so that they can figure out answers for themselves. I almost always let them work in groups, and it works fine, so that they can draw on each other's knowledge as they're putting this together. The monthly budget's a little harder, and it probably takes a couple weeks to lay it out, to think through what each of these means. How do you make a percent? You can put the numbers in, but where your first number, and then you want to divide it by 12 because you only want monthly. Certain spots here are numbers. Let's see if I have the spreadsheet for. I don't think I do. No, I don't have that. I don't have a. So the total would be a formula. Any percents are going to be formulas that they put in. So they're going to look and see where, and they have to know how to eyeball it and decide, does that look right or not? Not just putting the formula in and say, okay, I got my answer, but does it look right? Because we all know it doesn't always come out the way you planned. So then you have to look back and see where it didn't work. So that's their budget. And those two are really good ones. They teach them a whole lot about creating an entire spreadsheet. And that's middle school. That's what we do in middle school. So there's a bundle of Excel projects that I put together. They're kind of representative of teaching Excel, and they cover most of the grades. So I'm probably not middle school as well as the younger grades, but it's the time card, the cheat sheet for math, the survey in class, the beginners, this is where you're just starting out with the kids, and then tessellations, which we didn't talk about. Tessellations I usually get to about 5th grade, but creating those tessellations. Let's see if I have a sample of them. This is probably good enough, where you put the shape in and you have to pick shapes that will tessellate well. Here's where you get them here. So this bundle is pretty good for covering all the grades with teaching them Excel. Okay, I think that's it for Excel. A very important software to know, because it allows students to turn data into information. That's a critical feature. Otherwise, it's just a whole bunch of numbers that screams at them. But you want them to be able to turn it into information that they understand, that makes sense to them. The other side of it is when students get used to, and they will by 5th grade and older, they'll get used to seeing the numbers, grabbing it and turning it into a chart. And they'll forget to look at it themselves. So round about 5th grade, I start reminding them, by graphing it, you're actually letting the graph tell you what's going on. You're no longer really looking at it. Let me see if I can bring a graph up and show you what I'm talking about. Okay. I already have it open. Okay, so we have this data here, and you look at that, and it is a little, you have to kind of really look at it to, okay, what's it saying? And then evaluate. Whereas if you graph it, where'd my graph go? Weird. If you graph it, it tells you right there. Oh, okay, I can see boys, girls, it's very clear. The problem is this is telling you what to think about that data. You forget to evaluate it yourself. You get wrapped up in, okay, there's the answer. I know it. A lot of people who are into data don't like the charts because it tells them what to think. So I start reminding that students of that, and they think, well, of course it tells me it's the right answer. But that's not always true. Then you forget to look for deeper meanings. So that's a cautionary tale you want to add to students when you're teaching them about turning data into information. All right, guys, that's Excel. Very fun. I love Excel. I'd love to hear your stories about Excel and how you use it. Anyone out there use Battleship to play Excel? I've seen a lot of people use it. I haven't done it in my classes, but I really should because it looks like great fun. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great week. Bye.